We would like to start our day. That's the third day of our conference. That's the Industry 4.0 in the developing world, challenges, gaps, and opportunities. So we have come to the last day. That's the guest lecture. So I would cordially invite our guest, Mr. Azhar Zia Ahmad. And I would like to give you a small description about him. Mr. Azhar is a member, Presidential Committee on Emerging Technologies, Government of Pakistan. He is the author of a book, Technology Governance, Concepts and Practices, which provides insights into managing and governing Industry 4.0 in businesses. He has also been an international keynote speaker on the fourth industrial revolutions, transformation, and SDGs, disrupting technologies, intelligent transport systems, smart cities, information security, compliance management. He also coined a new term called DG formation. So I would like to invite him to the stage, and the stage is for you.
Thank you very much. We like to have this session as interactive as possible. You can stop me when anything doesn't make sense, when anything is not clear. And if there are any questions on from the online people, then you can stop me and put those questions. If there are any questions, right? So that it's more interactive. Okay, so we talk about next time. Okay, the objective of this session is to see how organizations can survive and sustain in the fourth industrial revolution. So first you have to survive and then you have to sustain. Most of the organizations will not survive the fourth industrial revolution. And that is the reason is that there are certain challenges. You can see the next slide. They don't meet those challenges. They're not aware of those challenges and therefore they don't meet them. So next. Okay, so these are the four sections of this presentation today. First, we'll discuss about the essentials of the fourth industrial revolution, which is what is important, what you have to do to sustain and survive in the fourth industrial revolution. And then we'll discuss what systems and processes should be there in an organization to survive and sustain in the fourth industrial revolution. And then we see that how do we assess those systems and processes? How do we know that if the systems and processes are good or bad, or how good or how bad? And then we see that if they are bad, then how can we transform the systems and processes so that we can sustain the fourth industrial revolution? Next. Okay, the first thing that we'll be doing is what are the essentials of the fourth industrial revolution? The first essential is governance. So what is governance? Governance means that you must be able to know what you're doing. So there are three parts of governance. The first part is that you should be able to tell people under you what you want them to do. That's the first part. The second thing is you must be able to know if they are doing what you wanted them to do. That is the monitoring. The third one is that what everybody is doing, is he doing it? Is he capable of doing it? And you monitor him doing it, and you know that he's doing what you want him to do. So there's three parts of governance. And that is the biggest problem in most governments, in most organizations, that the governance is not there. So the governance, if you have good governance, you know what you're doing, you know what resources you have, and are you utilizing the resources that you have? Before asking for more resources, are you sure that you are utilizing properly the resources that you already have? That is governance. So the first precondition of the fourth solution is that you must be utilizing your existing resources to the best of the resources that is the best of your ability. So that's governance. The second thing is quality. Whatever you do should be according to quality. So what is quality? Quality lies in the eye of the beholder. The quality may be different for somebody, different for somebody. So you cannot. The best way of meeting quality is to abide by international standards. If you abide by international standards, everybody will be happy. Nobody will be able to say that you're not having the right quality. So the second precondition of the fourth industrial revolution is quality, that you abide by and you follow international standards. Next. The third precondition is agility. Agility means that you should be able to transform yourself. You must be able to change your services. You must be able to change the way of your working very fast, according to the requirements of your market, according to the requirements of the customers, according to the requirements of the stakeholders. So you must have processes, you must have systems that are so flexible that you are able to transform yourself, you're able to change yourself, you're able to change your products, you're able to change the way you work very fast, overnight. One of the examples is the telecom companies. The telecom company comes up with a new product or a new service, and the next day the other one comes up with a similar product, because they're agile. So that's the third precondition. The fourth precondition is vertical integration. Vertical integration of processes. All the processes in the company, in the organization, should be integrated with each other, starting with governance, then management, financial management, HR management, procurement, all processes should be tightly integrated. If anything happens in one process, it should reflect a change in the other process. That's vertical integration. The next one, and the last one, is horizontal integration. This is the integration of processes across organizations. The supply process or the supply process of one organization should be linked with the supply process of another. The HR process of one organization should be linked with the HR process of another, and so on. So all of these processes should be linked horizontally. So these are the five preconditions, and they are called Pentagram. These are all my terms. This is from my next book, which should be coming before the end of the year. And these five are called I4R Pentagram. So the challenge for any organization is to meet these five challenges. How to meet those five challenges, that we see now. Okay. We meet those five challenges by having the proper systems and the proper processes. What are those systems and those processes? We'll see now. Next. But this is a framework. Any organization, whether it is profit making or non profit making, government, private, manufacturing, whatever, it's got these two types of processes. One is the generic enterprise processes, and the second one is the industry specific processes. Industry specific processes are those which are only in that industry. For example, the tea industry has got its own processes. For example, the jewelry industry has got its own processes. For example, if you're manufacturing cars, it's its own processes. If you're a service organization, a telecom company, it's got its own processes. So these are the two types of processes that are there in any organization. Now, if you break this up, it consists of 7 different classes of processes. At the top, you've got the governance processes, which deal with the governance framework and the processes that run governance. Next. Then you've got the general management processes like HR, like payroll, like procurement, inventory management, and so on. These are the general management processes. Then you've got a technology governance and management process. Now, every organization, however big or small, deals with technology and deals with not one technology but many technologies. So you cannot make the best use of technologies inside of it. You've got to make them in synergy. And that was one of the things that I was doing the audit of Dubai Electricity and Water Authority 3 or 4 years ago. And that was the main problem that they had. They have all the technologies, but those technologies were being used in silos. So they're not making the best use of technology. You have to have a technology governance process which helps you utilize the technologies with synergy. Next. All of this is happening, and you have to, it's not happening in the best way. So there has to be a continual improvement. The word here is continual, not continuous. Can you tell me what is the difference between continual and continuous? I want to make it interactive so that you're not sleeping. What's the difference between continual and continuous? It's a different word. Okay, let me give you an idea. Look, I think that's nearly there. Let me give examples. The lights are on continuously, right? The fan is on continuously, but the washing machine is on continually. It is on only when you want it to be on, but that is that happens frequently. That's a movie continuously, continually. So you have to improve your organization continually. It doesn't mean that every day you are improving. You're improving at intervals, annual intervals, monthly intervals, or whatever. So that's a continuous and continuous improvement, and that's a technical term from ISO. Next, you can do improvement based on your monitoring of your processes. So all of these processes are running, and you're monitoring them constantly. Based on monitoring, you come to know what's wrong with what you're doing. And based on the finding that you find that what's wrong, you do the continuous improvement. Next. Now for doing all this, you need infrastructure, you need buildings, you need cars, you need machines. And that is the infrastructure. You need processes for managing the infrastructure. And the last one is the actual operations, the actual research that we're doing, the actual production that we're doing, the actual service that we're rendering. These are the 7 levels or 7 layers of different processes. Next. And of course, we add to this your specific industry processes. So this is the framework, and this is called framework for the 4th industrial revolution. This is also my term, and this is also for my next talk. So this is what is called the framework, which is the framework of processes in the 4th industrial revolution. Any questions so far? Yes. Now this is a detailed view of the same framework. We discuss it in detail now. At the top, you've got the governance, then the delivery management, as we discussed, technology governance. At the bottom, you've got improvement, monitoring, infrastructure management, and the operations. We'll go through this in detail. Next. Okay. Looking at governance. Governance consists of 6 processes. The first one is corporate governance. Corporate governance means how does the board, how does your top instruct what they want to do, how they ensure that what is happening is what they wanted to happen, and thirdly, is everybody doing it with the right authority and with the right sense. So, and fourthly, is there a system that informs the top of that helps the top make informed decisions? So that is corporate governance. So you should have 2 things to have a good corporate governance. Number one, you must have the right structures. Number one, you must have the board, and then you must have the right committees of the board. For example, you may have an HR committee, you may have a remunerations committee, you may have a technology committee, you may have an audit committee, you may have a finance committee. You must have the right committees to help the board take decisions. That is corporate governance. The second thing is value chain. What is your value chain? How do you transform your inputs into your outputs? And what are your inputs and what are your outputs? So the value chain has to be defined. So that you know that what are the steps using which you convert your inputs into your outputs. So that when your inputs change, or when you want your outputs to change, what has to be done to ensure that the outputs are what change outputs that you want. For example, if the company is a telecom company, for example, they want to have a new service. What the service is an output. To have that new service, what inputs and what processes have to be changed or reduced to have that service. That is the value chain. So the organization must have a value chain, documented and defined. So if you look at the problems here, most organizations do have a board, but they don't have the processes to run the board. They have the committees, but they don't have the processes to link the board with the committee. They don't have the processes. For example, if the chairman of the board wants to find out that in the meeting 6 months ago, the agenda item number 2, we took this decision. what happened to that decision. There's no way of finding out what happened. So you must have a process, an automated process. You have to go to that. Similarly, you must have a documented value chain for the organization so that you really know what you are up to. The next is corporate social responsibility. What is the organization giving to the society? That's the third thing. The next one is compliance management. The organization has to comply with certain regulations, certain laws, certain rules, certain expectations. Those have to be documented. And now, in modern times, this is becoming very, very complex. Every day the requirements change, so there has to be a formalized, automated way of doing compliance management. Now, banks are the ones which are in deep trouble here because the banking requirements change every day. And that is why you often see banks being penalized or being fined for not complying to laws. Now, and this area is one area where the shortage is too much of people. You don't get compliance experts. That's why the salaries are very high. What people do is that they apply chartered accountants. But chartered accountants are not compliance people. People sometimes apply, sometimes hire lawyers. Lawyers deal only with legal compliance. There are other types of compliance also. So this is a totally new brand of people which is coming up, and this is a very good profession to go into. If you do law, if you do engineering or whatever, you can go into compliance management. It's a very good profession. Next is brand management. Especially in these days of the web presence, brand management is very important. And the last one is anti-bribery, which is a problem everywhere around the world. So there are systems, they have formalized systems for anti-bribery. There is a standard in ISO for anti-bribery, and there are systems that you have to implement for ensuring that there is no bribery. So these are the 6 main ingredients of governance. Next we come to general management. The first thing that we must have is enterprise architecture. The enterprise architecture flows from the value chain. You have a certain value chain, and to meet that value chain, you need to have an enterprise architecture. The architecture of the organization, the physical architecture, and the logical architecture. You can define it on a piece of paper, or you can have proper automated systems to define the enterprise architecture. Enterprise architecture brings together the whole shebang of the organization, which includes your physical presence, your logical strengths, the skills that you have, the processes that you have. Everything comes together so that when the board or when the management wants to take a decision, they know that if we change this, this will affect this, and this. So usually what happens is that when the management takes a decision, they take a decision and they screw up other things because they don't know what will be affected. So if you have enterprise architecture, you will know exactly what are you affecting by taking this decision. If you are firing a person, what skills will you take away? Or if a person is resigning, if a person is resigning and left, what skills has he taken away? What skills do you want to replace because the person is left? Or if you want to sell off a certain piece of equipment in your lab, what points in the value chain will it affect? Or if you're buying a new piece of equipment in your lab, where in the value chain will it enrich? What will affect in the enterprise architecture? This is why enterprise architecture is important. So the value chain and the enterprise architecture are interlinked with each other. So we talked about in the last slide, we talked about vertical integration. So all of these have to be integrated with each other. Next thing is quality management. This is very popular. ISO 9001, everybody goes for it. It's not a very useful standard, but the government wants, everywhere the government wants to have 9001 certification. Risk management, very important, especially in these days. There are a lot of different types of risks that affect the organization. There must be an enterprise risk management system at the enterprise level to document all your risks, to evaluate your risks, and see what is affecting. Now, we'll come to some other things later. Let's see where I can show you where it is linked. ERP. Most organizations have ERP. You go for an ERP system which takes care of your payroll, your HR, your procurement, your inventory, your finance, your accounts. So that's an ERP system. CRM, customer relationship management. This takes care of the customer side and it integrates the customer with your ERP and other things. OHS, organizational health and safety, occupational health and safety. This is also legally binding. In most countries that must have an OHS system. Continuity management. This is very important these days. What happens? Yesterday we had a good discussion on continuity management, disaster recovery. We had two presentations on disaster recovery. What happens when you have a disaster? How do you bring your company back from disaster? That is very important. So continuity management is again based on a standard and it is linked with all of these. Energy management. How do you make the best use of the energy that you have? How do you sustain the energy crisis? How do you make sure that energy is not being wasted in your organization? Asset management. This is very important. What assets do you have? This links with your value chain. It links with the enterprise architecture. It links with risk management because assets pose risks. Assets have risks. So it links with your ERP. It links with CRM, it links with everything because assets are the basis of an organization. So unless you link normally what happens in most organizations is that the asset management is given to finance. So you bought this truck for 1 million and now it's gone to zero because 5 years has passed, it's depreciated. That's wrong. The truck is there. It will always pose risks. It will always be useful in the value chain. It will always be there in the enterprise architecture. That is the finance manager's perspective of asset management. That's one part. So every asset has to be linked with all of these processes. Then you've got information security, very important in these days because everything is online. So anybody can come in, steal your data or destroy your data and then last thing is the environment management. So these are some of the processes of general management. Next is technology governance and management. First is technology governance. We're using many technologies in the organization. Are you using them with synergy? How do you use them with synergy? How do you use the technologies? How do you know if you've got the best technology? And that is covered under technology governance. There are 7 processes under technology governance, which you can see in my book. Next is innovation management. There are processes for innovation management, there are standards for it, how to manage innovation. And that links with value chain, it also links with the enterprise architecture. Because if you're innovating, that should be within your value chain. And if you innovate something new, that should go and affect your value chain. Innovation management is very important. Configuration management. Configuration management is the interrelationships of your assets. You've got different types of assets. You've got physical assets, you've got monetary assets, you've got skills, you've got risks coming from assets. What is the interrelationship between these assets? That is configuration management. What will happen if you sell one asset? What will happen if you buy another asset? How will it relate to the other asset? That is configuration management, and the systems to do it. Next is service management. What is service management? You offer services. Have you defined your services properly? Have you defined every aspect of the service? And because the service depends on asset management, it depends on configuration management, it depends on all of these things. Because that is what is at the end of your value chain. So have you defined your service properly? Have you defined every aspect of the service? Have you defined the quality of the service? Do you know what will happen if a person leaves? What will how will the service, how will this service be affected? So the service management is at the top of everything. and it depends on all these processes. So most organizations don't define their service, and that's why they can't control the quality of the service. So service management is very important. You have to do it formally. Competence management of people. You need certain competence to offer the services. You need certain competence to maintain a certain quality. Have you defined that competence? Have you defined that you need these skills with these levels of competence? For each skill, you must have defined the level of competence that you need. You do not need the best competence for everything. You must define that my organization requires these 50 skills with these competence levels. And then when you define the job descriptions of different people, you need to define that we need in this position, we need these 8 skills with these levels of competence. So that is competence management, and there is a standard for it, and there are processes for it. Outsourcing management. No organization does everything themselves. You outsource, for example, you outsource your cleaning, you outsource your maintenance. Whatever you outsource, you must have processes to outsource, to manage the outsourcing. You must have defined service and agreements, and you must manage it together with your service management and others. And the last one is project, program and portfolio management. Are you doing it formally? Or you just create a program and you start working on it. You must have well-defined systems for portfolio management, and within portfolios you've got different programs, and within programs you've got different projects, and there are ISO standards of how to do this. Any questions? Yes. Now we come to the operations. If we start from the left, there are industry-specific operations. For example, if you were a key organization, you have different. If you have a telecom, it's different. If you have a jewelry company, it's different. So this is industry-specific. Next is synergetics, which means that all of this in the green has to be adopted to run for this company. Because yes, all those processes are there in every organization, but they change with the nature of the organization. And that's what was synergy is. You have to synergize all of those so that they help you run the organization. Automation and robotics. What kind of system do you need for automation? Automation can be very low level, it can be very high level. What degree of automation you need? Do you need automation at all? That you have to decide. Next is additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing, I don't know if you are familiar with additive manufacturing, 3D printing. So to what extent do you need 3D printing? How do you make it usable? IoT, we discussed IoT yesterday in detail. Bio and neurotechnologies, in which bioinformatics is coming up. All of these may not be there in every organization. You have to make a pick and choose which was you need. Then nanotechnology, neurotechnology, quantum computing, and materials, they may not be useful for every organization, but some of them may need this. Analytics, every organization needs this. Big data, every organization needs big data, and you're really analyzing your big data. AI, every organization needs AI, data sciences, knowledge management, and virtual government. This analytics and visualization, every organization, however small it is, really. Let's take the example of 2 organizations. One, a very big chain of stores of grocery. I don't know what those you have there. Carrefour or whatever. So that big store is selling fruit, right? And the person on the cart outside is also selling fruit. Both of them have the same processes. The person selling the fruit on the cart cannot afford to not have any of these processes. He has all the processes, but they're happening in his head. It's not very defined. And therefore, that's the reason why he is still on a cart. He is doing the analytics and visualization. He's analyzing. Today, I brought 50 dozens of bananas. I sold only 30 dozens. Why? because of the climate, because I was in the wrong place, because I came late. So he's analyzing why it not said. The same analysis happens in that big store, but they're doing it in an automated way. So that's the difference. So every business, however small or however big, does all of this, either formally or informally. The more formally you do, the better you are. But there's a cost to it. The cost comes back as profit. Next is data technologies, data governance, data quality, data privacy, blockchain, cloud, and storage. This is very important today. The data technologies, because without these data technologies, you cannot have analytics and visualization. Unless you've got data governance. For example, you've got these ID cards, national ID cards, right? A very good system we talked about yesterday, a very, very good system. And on that will build up everything. Unless you've got a very good governance of data coming from your ID cards, you'll not be able to do that. The quality of data should be there. The privacy has to be ensured. Your privacy laws, I think, is already it's coming very soon. Blockchain we talked about yesterday. Cloud, you must have a national cloud. You can't depend on a cloud somewhere outside. And storage is becoming a big problem. Storage is increasing the rate. So these are very important. Unless you've got data technologies, you can't have visualization. Customer management. How are you managing your customers? This relates to CRM there. And you should monitor all of this. This should all be monitored constantly. Next. All of this requires infrastructure. The infrastructure, we discussed smart cities yesterday. Smart cities consist of smart buildings. There has to be communication between the buildings within the cities. Sustainability of cities and sustainability of buildings becoming a problem. So that is very important. Now, this is a brand new technology, building information modeling. Please, civil engineers here? No. Okay, now, civil engineering is the oldest engineering, but it's the most backward. Until recently, when this concept, this paradigm came in. Building information modeling is the latest paradigm in civil engineering. What it means? What it means is that you have to make a building twice. First, yesterday we talked about digital twins also. The person from Hawaii, he talked about digital twins. First, you have to make a digital twin of a building, and then construct it from zero, from concept, so that you know what problems will you face in constructing that building. Then you iron out those problems, and then you make the actual building. So you know exactly what materials you require when, in what quantity, how much money you want to spend when, so that you optimize your loans. You know what skills you will require when, so that you optimize the hiring of technicians. So this is building information modeling, and this has revolutionized the construction industry. The construction industry, the margins are usually 5, 6, 7%. And in that, it's very likely to go in a loss. This ensures that you do make profits. Most of the modern buildings are being built using building from this is called BIM, BIM. This is the latest paradigm in civil engineering. Intelligent transportation. We are having more and more cars on the road. How do you ensure, and that was also shown by the Hawaii presentation, you could see the simulation of the traffic and so on. That is intelligent transportation. But how do you control traffic within your cities and between your cities so that you make the best use of your transportation infrastructure? Facilities management, you have facilities in your buildings. How do you make the best use of those facilities so that the minimum facilities can give you the best results? So the last one is energy storage. How do you store energy so that when there is no energy, you still utilize energy? So these are the processes that you should have in infrastructure management. Next. Now all of this is happening. This is happening in real time. And all of it has to be monitored. So all the processes have to be monitored, either manually or automatic or automation. A lot of knowledge is being generated. That knowledge has to be captured, that knowledge has to be analyzed, that knowledge has to be indexed, and that knowledge has to be available for reuse. That is the difference between an old organization and a new organization. An old organization is got a history of knowledge, it's got a lot of experience. So that has to be somehow captured, indexed, stored, and made available for reutilization. Suggestions. Suggestions may come from within, or may come from outside. So you must be open for suggestions, you must have a system to accept suggestions and to incorporate them into your processes. Whistleblowing. Whistleblowing is now formalized. The standards for whistleblowing, that how can you have systems for whistleblowing? Somebody within the organization feels that something wrong is happening, but he doesn't want to be known. So, or if somebody is outside and he wants to tell you something that something wrong happening in the organization, there must be a process of whistleblowing. Management review, you have suggestions, you have whistleblowing, you are monitoring, so you know exactly what is happening in the organization. Based on that, you must have regular management reviews of the processes. That's very important. Internal audit. They audit the processes and tell you what is not happening as it was supposed to happen. That's internal audit. But there's something more. Internal audit is not useful in many cases because they measure your performance against what you are defined to be doing. So what you are defined to be doing will be wrong. Right? So that is covered under maturity assessment. That's the next one. So what is the maturity of your processes? How good, and this will cover the next section of the presentation. But what is the maturity of the processes? How mature they are? Internal audit measures that how well are you doing against the defined processes. The defined process could be wrong. In maturity assessment, you assess how good your defined processes are. So that's the difference between internal audit and maturity assessment. In the middle, you see compliance audit. Compliance audit is how much do you comply to defined standards or defined ways of doing things. So there are three ways in which you can get the management can get feedback on what they are doing. Is it good or bad? Internal audit, compliance audit, and maturity assessment. Three different angles of looking at what you're doing. The next one is, and also there's customer feedback, which should be considered in management review. Performance management of people, of machines. For example, yesterday we were discussing with Sophia the PLCs, the programmable logic controllers. Every PLC captures knowledge about the performance of the machine. And if you analyze that information properly, you can know exactly when this machine is going to fail. Similarly, about people, if you gather the right information about people, you know what problem a person is facing, personally or in the office. So that is performance management of people and of machines. And the last one is government audit, which is assessment of your performance from totally different angle from the public angle. So this is monitoring and measuring. Next. Based on this monitoring and measuring, you do continual improvement. But continual improvement is got different angles. The first angle is change management. Change management is when you change something small. One of these processes you want to improve, you want to change, or you want to change how you do certain things. That's change management. But if something big is wrong, or if your value chain changes, then the change management will not work. Then you will have to have transformation. So that's the difference between change management and transformation. The change management deals with small things. Transformation deals across the board. So you must have facilities for both change management and transformation. Awareness. Are the people aware of what is expected of them? Are the people aware of how they should be working? So awareness is a continual exercise. If a new person joins, you have to make him aware of your culture. You have to make him aware of how he's supposed to work. You have to make him aware of what is expected of him. And the last thing is continual training and development. Continual. You must have certain hours for every person. In most of the companies, it's about 40 hours per year. Every person must get 40 hours of training every year. So you must have a training program in every organization, and that training program should be linked to the skills your organization needs on. Next.
Maturity assessment, is it a continuous process or how do you compare the baseline or the maturity?
Very good question. Okay.
When you say value chain, does it include also the inbound logistics and outbound logistics?
Everything. All inputs, all outputs, all processes. How do you convert your inputs into your outputs? Everything should be done.
Another thing is that you've seen this thing that the most important thing these days is the social media part. So in this whole foreign work, where does the social media come in? The knowledge management or what?
Awareness
Awareness.
of within and without.
And are there any international rules for that? Or
Yes.
Information guidelines?
Yes. Yeah. There are standards for that for communication. You have to define your communication. There is that.
Policy on communication.
Sorry?
Policy on communication.
Yeah, you must have a policy of communication that who is supposed to, who can communicate what, who can communicate when, who can communicate how, within and outside. There has to be a policy for that. That could be a question. Any other questions? Okay, so this is called framework for the fourth industrial revolution, the framework for the fourth industrial revolution, and this is from my next book. Next. Okay, now this framework has been enhanced for different industries. When I go and work in a certain industry, I apply this. This is all applied. This is not theory. I apply this in many industries. And whenever I go to a new industry, I adopt this framework for that industry. For example, this is the same thing adopted for the oil and gas industry, and I've applied this in the second largest oil company in the world, which is ADNOC, and also in the way oil company, which is ENOC, International Oil Company. So this is the same framework adopted for the oil and gas industry. You see this is nearly the same, but on the left you see specific processes, specific standards which deal only with the oil and gas industry. Next, education. I was doing a project for an organization in UAE, which is the colleges of technology. There were 16 colleges, and they implemented this. So if you see, there are certain standards on the left which are specific to education, and we implemented those in integration with all of this. So this is the same framework adopted for education. Next. This is the same framework for healthcare, and this is very important these days because healthcare is the industry which is making the most money. So if you see on the left, you've got all the processes that you need in a healthcare industry. And I've implemented this in a chain of pharmacies. There were about 90 pharmacies, and we implemented this in that pharmacy. I think this was last year, year before last. Next. It's the same framework adopted for construction. So I've got more examples. Just took these 4 or 5 examples. So whichever industry I go and work for, I adopt this first and then I implement this. Okay, next. Okay, then so now we come to the next topic, which is what you ask, assessment of an organization. Next. Okay. When you think that your organization needs improvement, that would be annually, or that would be whenever something disastrous happens. For example, in many pharmaceutical companies, they had chosen not to automate. So when the pandemic struck, people just stopped coming. So the machine stopped, the production stopped because they had chosen not to automate. So after the pandemic, that was the trigger which made them decide, no, we should automate more. So that you will come or not come, our production is running. So if you have these kind of triggers, you must go back to the drawing board and assess your organization. The assessment, as we saw, can be of three types. Number one, audit, which won't help because they assess you only against what you should be doing. Right? The other one is maturity assessment. That is what is valid. That you must see how mature your processes are. So that will use whenever you think that something is wrong, or whenever the expectations change. So you have to look at your value chain. If anything in the value chain changes, that's the time due for maturity assessment. The maturity assessment is a concept which came from CMI. Heard of CMI? It came from CMI. And they are basically, there's a standard which is ISO 33001 up to 330. There are 20 standards which tell you how to do maturity assessment. And usually the standard adopted for maturity assessment is a 6 levels of maturity which you should have. You always add 0 level 0. Level 0 is by default. If you want to be at level 1, for example, your payroll, you want your payroll to be at level 1, then you must ensure that the payroll is achieving its desired outcomes. That's level 1. For example, everybody should get the salary. That's it. That's the only outcome. Everybody should get salary. You're not defining to get the salary on the right date, the right amount, to the right channel. So that is level 1. If you want to improve that process further and go to level 2, that's called a managed process. So you improve the process. So now it's properly defined, it's documented, it's automated, and you know that everybody will get the salary on the 29th of the month, the right amount, and the right bank account. If you want to go to the level 3, then you start measuring and monitoring the process. You know that last month everybody got on the 29th in the morning. This month you got 29th in the evening. What happened? What was wrong? So you monitor the process and you know how to improve it. In level 4, you can predict. If you are so mature that you are at level 4 maturity, you can predict that this month something is going to go wrong with the payroll process because that person is on leave, or because the computer is overburdened, or for whatever reason. So if you are so mature, then you can predict what's going to go wrong with your process, or you can predict that this machine is going to fail in April because the PLC is giving us data which predicts that the left bearing of the machine will fail in April. So if your process is so mature, then you can predict the behavior of your process. That's the 4th level. And the 5th level is innovative. But you know so well what's going to go wrong in your process that before that thing goes wrong, you already innovate and improve the process. So these are the 6 levels of innovation. Does that answer your question? Or you want to reword your question?
No, actually, it's a new thing. We have not heard about this maturity assessment. And to, when you do the assessment, so you need to have a base data with us to see the circumference. That's what I understood. So when you are doing, we don't know whether we are in the right, in the level, or we are comparing with something other. The record level.
Okay.
So that's we have to check.
Yes. How do you do this? How do you do this visual system?
This is happening practically.
Yes.
But you may not be defining even a hard person.
Exactly.
You will be making the assessment, but it's something.
In most organizations, they are at level 1. You define your process once upon a time, and we define it in a very vague manner, and that's why you're at number 1. There are 7 questions. There are set about 42 questions which you have to answer to reach level 5. At level 1, you've got about, I think, 2 questions. Or 1 question. The process has just to meet its objectives. If you go to level 2, you have to answer 5 more questions to satisfy those 5 requirements to be at level 2, and so on. So this is a very detailed process, and I teach a 3-day course on this. How do you do maturity assessment? It's based on ISO 33002, 330, 0, 0, and so on. So this is what you do. So when you do maturity assessment, you know exactly what is the maturity level of all your processes. The first problem is that you don't know what your processes are. People are doing a lot of work. That work is not even defined in the job description. But still they're doing it. Right? But they've not formalized that work. They've not documented the process of that work. So you don't even know what processes are. So the first step, if an organization wants to transform, if an organization wants to improve, the first step is document list your processes. Just have a flat list in a spreadsheet. You have about 2,000, 2,500 processes in an average organization. So those 2,000 processes have to be listed. When you list it, then you define it, then you describe it. Now, here is the problem. The problem is that people have got those processes in their drawers. And that is the value of that person. That person thinks that if I tell what I'm doing, how I'm doing to somebody else, I may lose my job. Right? And this is the challenge. You have to bring out, you have to convince the person that what you're doing is good for you in the long run. And that's the biggest challenge, how to make a list of those 2,000 processes. Once you make a list of those 2,000 processes, then you do a business impact analysis. Have you heard of the term business impact analysis? You do a business impact analysis of the process. Then what will be the impact if this process vanishes, if this process is not working? And there are mathematical ways of doing business impact analysis. So you do the impact is called BIA. So you do the BIA of those 2,000 processes. And based on that, you get a score. For each process, you get a score. Right? And then you arrange those processes in the order of the scores. The ones with the highest impact, the highest score, have the highest risk. So you start from the highest risk processes, and those are the most important ones. So you take a cutoff. You can't deal with 2,000 processes. You go to the management and say that, look, this is the list. Where should we cut off? The management says cut off at 20. You take the first 20 processes, right, and do a maturity analysis of those. So you know that those 20 processes, some are at 1, some are at 2, some are at 3, some are just not there, but they are at 0. So you do a maturity analysis of those 20 processes and you come up with the maturity levels. Now you go back to the management and say that, look, these are the 20 processes that we wanted us to improve, and these are the maturity scores. Where do you want us to take those maturity scores? The one you want us to take to 3 or 4 or 5 or 2. For each one of those 20, you define the target. The present majority score is 1. You want it to be 3 by when? Within 2 years. The majority score for this one is 2. You want it to be 5 within 4 years, and so on. So you define that. That is your objective in 2 years, 3 years, or 1 year. So this is how you do the maturity. This is how it is important. And this is how you transform the organization. Okay? Any questions so far? This is a long exercise. Any questions so far?
In the organization, is it a joint effort or is it the responsibility of a certain department for this maturity?
Usually, you have to hire somebody to do it. Because you may not have the skills within. What I usually do is that I make a team within the organization, train them on doing this, and they can do it. And this is what you should be doing. Probably this is one of the initiatives that your organization should be taking. But you create a team of experts who are available because it's industrial technology institute. Right? So you're supposed to be helping industries. So you create a team of people, and this is a new service that you will be offering. So you create a team of people who are expert in doing this. And then you go to different industries analyze them, and tell them what's wrong with them, and then help them improve. So this is a very nice. If you hire these big four to do this, you charge millions and millions without giving the right results. You can have the service.
I think we need the first to do this exercise to this organization.
Yes, that will be a pilot project.
Yeah, that's right.
To learn that will be a learning exercise. You do this within an organization.
Then we can adopt the
And that will be a learning exercise to know how to work and form a team of experts. And when you do the same in your organization, you gain the experience. And then you go to different industries, different organizations, government organizations, ministries, and help them come. This I did for 5 government organizations last year. It was a project funded by UNDP. Maybe you can contact UNDP. They have a project in the whole of Asia, developing countries, in which they go to the organization, they do the maturity assessment, and they tell the organization what's wrong with it. And because of what I did last year, 2 organizations of the government of Pakistan got transformed radically. We told them what's wrong with them, and we took it to the level of the president, and the president himself got into it, and they transformed. They changed the constitution of the organization. They changed the board of the organization because there were fundamental problems with the organization. And now the organizations are transformed. So probably this is the service that you can start offering. This is a new standard. It's a whole chain of standards. So 23,000, 30,001, 2, 3, up to 050. This replaced another series of standards which were withdrawn, and this was released actually 5 or 6 years ago. It's a complete new chain of standards which is brand new. Sure.
When you want to get you, we have to go to the leader or concept.
I'm building a freelance.
You can support in this process.
We have to see.
Are you supporting other institutes in this? Also similar nature?
We have to see which project is having this company. Some project is having some, then we have to look into that. You can see it's possible. Yes.
Because they are already ISO certified. The organization is one thing.
The concept
Also,
can
ISO, our management, not that difficult for us to go through this process. So once if we can do it to organize, we can function as a total point to support the
It will transform every industry experience.
this one that is nice. It's not nice for all simple.
Yes.
COEs.
Yes. This is what
Concept
they.
can take
We
the
start with like yet.
Start yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Okay, so any questions on this visualization so far? So this is totally different from audit. Audit should not make up these weaknesses. Visualization is not big. That's why I want to have 2 ways of assessing your organization. Any questions? Any questions online? Yes. So this is the last part of the. Okay, so the challenge is you are somewhere. How do you transform yourself to the framework? Next. Okay, what is the process of transformation? The beginning part I've told you that you do your maturity assessment, you find out what's wrong, and then you start the transformation. Now we come to the actual transformation. Next. Yeah. So it is a process. The first step is digitization. These are words you must have heard different times, and these words are misused and misinterpreted mostly. So we discuss what does actually mean. The first step of digitization is knowing your data, discovering your data. Walk through your value chain, discover where is data. Discover the data, list your data. Right? So much of your data is not being captured. 95%, 99% data of yours is not being captured, is vanishing. Just getting lost. So you must at least recognize what data you have. And then you must start digitizing that data. What does digitization mean? Digitization is the process of making information artifacts computable. Right? For example, this is an information artifact. It carries some information, right? But this is not computable. You have to make computable. The first step is you scan it. Take up the phone, scan it, or take a picture. You go through the computer. That's the first level of digitization. But can you calculate on it? Can you search on it? No, because it's a picture. So the next level of digitization is that you do an OCR on it, optical character recognition. You recognize these characters. You translate just into English. Now you can search. Now, if it was carrying a picture here, can you analyze that picture? No. So you have to have another level of digitization, so you can analyze the picture. If it was carrying sound, can you digitize the sound? Can you analyze the sound? Whose sound is this? So there are different levels of digitization, and to what level you have to go depends on your requirements, depends on your value chain. What you want to do with that bit of data, with that piece of data. For example, you've got visitors coming in. Most organizations, visitors coming in, they have to sign a register. Put their identity card, put their phone number, put their organization, put their name on a register. What is it? You do the same on the computer. You can really analyze the nature of your visitors. You can analyze who is the frequent visitor. You can analyze, you can do so many things. So there are levels of digitization depending on your ultimate use of that data. So that is digitization. Next. The next step is digitalization. Digitalization is the process of making information processes computable. The whole process which uses the information artifact, that is computable. For example, you had payroll. You were using the payroll was being done manually, not computable. Now you automate it, so the process becomes computable. You know exactly what is happening in the process. You can analyze the process. You can improve the process. You can monitor the process, but it's only that process. So that is digitalization. So digitalization. Next is digital transformation. Now here you're making information systems computing. What it means is that you've got a payroll system, and you've got an HR system, and you've got a finance system. Right? The payroll system utilizes the HR system and utilizes the finance system. Unless the three are interlinked, you will not get the best benefits. So that is what is called digital transformation. That in digitalization, you've got processes automated. In digital transformation, you've got processes which were automated, they are now interlinked. Right? But this is not enough. There's one more step next. And that is called digiformation. And you have to make the whole information ecosystem computable. Your finance system links with your bank. Right? The payroll links with that person's bank. So this whole chain has to be interlinked, and that is what is called digiformation. What we called earlier horizontal integration. So that is called digiformation. So the whole ecosystem has to be computable. A very good example of this is on something which I'm working on these days, the electoral system of Pakistan. We are transforming the whole electoral system, and in which we put the whole ecosystem of elections. It's not only the election machines. It's not only the people voting on through their telephones. It's the whole ecosystem of the Election Commission of Pakistan, which is being changed, which is being transformed, which is being computerized. So that is called digiformation. This is my own term. Digiformation with the small letters is a process. Digiformation with capital letters is a methodology for transformation. And it includes all of this what we've discussed so far. Next. So finally, it's my final slide. These three concepts are the basic concepts of the fourth industrial revolution. You must abide by, you must satisfy these 5 prerequisites of Pentium. How do you satisfy them? You satisfy them by using the framework. And how do you implement the framework? Implemented by the methodology of the formation. Question. I don't expect such a day modules.
This is utilization process. One problem that we don't really use the change from this because you create people the work they can do that. So the create management is difficult. So how to do it?
That is the challenge. That is the challenge. And that is handled through awareness. I'll give you 2 examples of my experience in this. 1988, I was just a kid with 8 years experience, and I was called in, I don't know how, to transform industry called heavy mechanical complex in textile. It's a huge industry. They used to make cement plants and sugar plants and steel and road rollers and so on. And they were going down the line. The government was very busy, and there was a retired general who was the minister for production, and there was a secretary for production who was a bureaucrat, and there was an organization called heavy engineering. I don't know. The head of that was a very educated engineer, PhD. So they called me to transform. I don't know how I got into it, but they called me to transform the whole industry. And wherever we went, they said, "This kid, what would I had my own thing." I was doing this in the evening. I was doing a full-time job in the morning and this in the evening. So I made a team of 3 people, myself, one mechanical engineer and one software engineer, and we started. They wanted us to transform their production engineering process. The problem was the same, exactly. That there were people with 20 years experience, engineers doing the same thing for 20 years, and they said they're doing what we're doing is the best. There's nothing current to do. So what we did was we started at the bottom. We started at junior engineers, they were the easiest to handle. Then the senior engineers, the managers, and so on. We did 2-day workshops for all of them. We told them, we made them awareness. We made them aware that what they are doing may be the best way of doing things in the present circumstances, but the circumstances that are coming will render their way of working completely obsolete. And because of that, they will be out of the job. So what do you want to do? Do you want to be out of the job? Or do you want to keep doing what you want? So you have to have a combination of the carrot and the stick. Right? You have to show them that you are going to do your job. On the other side, you have to show them, look, if you go through this training, if you go through this transformation, you will know new skills, you will learn new skills, and that will enhance your market value. The other example I quote is Lahore. In Lahore, there's a big land society, very posh. I was called in, I think, in 1990, 1991. To transform their land management system. So an army junior commission officer was handling, and he was very proud of what he was doing. So I asked him, he didn't want any changes. So I asked him, when do you come to office? At 9 o'clock. So when you go to office at 9, 10, 11, 12, I don't know when I go to office. So you don't like it, you want to go back at 5 o'clock? So I want to. So you cooperate with me. And I guarantee that within 1 year that you learn with me, the salary will be double. So we cooperated, and we transformed the whole system, brought it into order, and we did a completely new system. And that guy was so happy. He used to come at 9 o'clock and leave at 5 o'clock. And within 1 year, he got a job outside at 3 times the salary that he was getting. So you got to have a combination of the carrot and the stick. You got to tell people that, look, the times have changed. The people outside. Here and also in Pakistan, they are on the road against prices. Everything is very expensive. right? They don't know that they'll not have a job in 5 years. Most of the lower level jobs will be automated. Because there is a network, something is coming which you cannot stop. You got to cooperate, otherwise you will not do the job. You must learn new skills, you must learn new ways of doing things. So the answer is a combination of the character and state. There will be demonstration, there will be non-cooperation, but that's how it is everywhere in the world. Not especially about Sri Lanka or Pakistan or India, it's everywhere in the world. Yes, that's the challenge.
So this was your third point, actually, after governance, quality, the agility,
Yes.
agility to awareness. That responds to your complete system.
Right.
And does it bring that vertical and horizontal integration?
Yes. To be able to deliver services efficiently, you must have vertical integration and horizontal integration, both. Otherwise, you will not be efficient.
But are we just talking about vertical integration between these three
No.
functions?
No.
Or are we talking about
No, vertical integration is of the integration of the processes within the organization. Processes.
that?
And horizontal integration is the integration of the processes across organizations. Yeah, that is how horizontal integration. So I think the best way to go for Sri Lanka is to have a team, a centralized team that helps you do two things. First, at the government level, you should have a policy for the fourth industrial revolution. Right? You can see the model of Germany, you can see the model of Singapore, you can see the model of Japan, but those models may or may not apply here. You want to come up with your own model based on the experiences there, based on, for example, the experiences in what Dr. Sway was saying yesterday. I've seen what is happening. So Dr. Sway has been with them only since 2016. But I've seen that happening from 1996. There have been 3 cycles in the way of transformation. It's a rich country. It's a dictatorship. They can afford that. Pakistan and Sri Lanka cannot afford to make mistakes. So you've got to get things done nearly right the first time. So you have to learn from these experiences. In the way they did it first time, it failed. They did it second time, it got improved. Now they're doing it third time with Dr. Sway's way. So the third time, they are going to be much better. In Sri Lanka, you cannot afford it. You got to do things nearly right the first time. So you must have a central organization which brings up the policy for fourth industrial revolution. And in parallel, you should have a team in your organization which can go around helping organizations transform themselves based on these principles. That's probably the way forward. And I'm going to help with organizations doing very big.
The report actually was evaluated by the organization from the class as well. They would prefer this clear. So I think something like this will have to be done by time of not done any changes for the last 40 years. The fact that we are making meeting, like we are going out or noise.
So the first thing is good governance. Good governance at the government level, at the organization level. You must please know what you're doing. And that is not there in most organizations. Not only in Sri Lanka, worldwide. I implemented this governance automation in an organization called Dubai Holding. Dubai Holding is probably one of the largest organizations in the UAE. It's a holding company which holds 4 companies, 4 holding companies. And these holding companies hold many companies and further holding companies. So the total number of companies in the conglomerate is about 220. Sorry?
Different disciplines.
These different disciplines. The service organization, the manufacturing, the 220 companies is a big number. So what we did was that we implemented automated governance at the main company level, the Prime Minister of Dubai, he holds that company. And then at this level, he can know exactly what is happening there. So the managers cannot show you. The managers cannot give a story that everything is good. So that's the kind of thing that you need probably in some of your, maybe you can have one of the conglomerates and start opening them. Sorry? Yeah. And this was done, for example, I was supporting another project with the Antop, the national oil company. They had 16 different companies. Now they merged them into one company, and they made a dashboard. If you go to the YouTube and look for Antop Panorama, then you will show here. It's a small video, Antop Panorama. What they've done is that everything that is happening in the company is shown on the dashboard. That dashboard is 72 feet by 9 feet. Right? So they've got a view of the whole company. They can go and touch it and drill down. The problem that I was involved was that the data was coming from the rigs, the oil rigs, right? And that data was fake. It was fake because the data was given by the rig operator to his boss, to his boss, to his boss, to his boss. So when this data reached the dashboard, there was so much massage. There was so much massage and it looked good. So I was calling to implement data governance so that the data that we got ADNOC, NOC, Panorama. Yeah, you see? Yes. So I was calling to implement at the zero level data governance, and I said no IDP. The IDP will say the same to me. You've got to have the people who own the data.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. First, welcome to ADNOC's room in this beautiful conference, Oil and Money. My name is Abdul Nasser Al-Mughirbi. I am the Senior Vice President Digital of ADNOC, and I would like to introduce to you our paradigm shift that made us think differently in our digital platform in ADNOC. It's called Panorama. It's a platform that we built in ADNOC in 2017, where we gathered all the information of ADNOC in one location in the ADNOC HQ. It is similar to an integrating operations center, but this is on a scale beyond the normal scale. What we did here is we took all the upstream companies, midstream companies, and downstream companies and integrated them in one platform. So we have a dashboard system that gives us all the information we require. Each one of those is ADNOC 14 companies, if you can see. ADNOC has 14 operating companies that were always operated independently in a way, yet they actually are on the same pipeline. They buy and sell products to each other. They are a fully integrated oil and gas company. Now, how do we create value from this data? How do we create value from being an integrated oil and gas company in one physical location, in one geographical location? It's by producing to our customers' needs, is by impacting how upstream produces their oil, what's the composition they give downstream, and that's what we do in Panorama in the digital unit. For example, let me show you this. I monitor everything that ADNOC does and report on a daily basis so I can go down in layers, down to the plant layer. If you can see, I can go all the way down where we're monitoring the compressors, similar to any control room. Yet we don't control. What we do is monitor, we do predictive maintenance, predictive analytic, and at the same time we advise our teams in the workforce in 64 ADNOC locations. We advise them on the best operating option that they need to take. So we impact the weekly plan, the monthly plan, the quarterly plan, and the corporate plan. in terms of production. And as the market becomes more dynamic, we're actually working with the traders and marketers of ADNOC to optimize the feed. So depending on what quality they want, what kind of feed they want, what kind of product we can deliver more of or less of, depending on the composition. So we get very technical. At the same time, we do some important things. We do energy monitoring, where we monitor the energy of ADNOC and issue the energy report. We can tell you how much fuel gas each plant has used, how much energy, how much they sold, how much they bought, and what's the optimum against a better value. At the same time, because we are ISO 50001 certified, we need to keep an energy KPI that's always downwards. And that is where we monitor it on a monthly basis, on a daily basis. But we issue a monthly report as part of the ADNOC. That's very nice. Actually, this doesn't happen often there, but it also happens in Panorama. Sometimes the screen, like any other screen, it stops. But this is something, so we have a lot of comparison in terms of energy. What else we do, which is important to us, the environment, we monitor the flaring. So we are aware, each and every site, how much they flare, how much they have burned, and we keep balance between them where we report in our KPIs how much we're flaring in each site. This creates a competition between sites because everybody wants to be the best. And our boss insists that we have to look at our inventory. Sorry, guys. So this is our flaring dashboard. So I look at all downstream, upstream, specific companies in totality, and we make sure that whenever excessive flaring happens, we highlight it very fast to management because certain decisions have to be made. As part of ADNOC rules, we are not allowed to flare for more than a specific number of hours, otherwise all the field has to shut down. So we speed up the process, so we flare less by having visibility, and at the same time, being transparent helps the organization to be more honest, I think. What else we do is we monitor all the KPIs. So the yearly KPIs, the balance scorecard of each company reports it on a monthly basis, but who does the verification? We do the verification. Why? Because not only we have the production figures, but we are linked also with the ERP, with the SAP HANA, so with the financial system. We already know exactly the CapEx, OpEx, what's being spent, and we monitor what they report against the facts. Now, usually people are very honest, but you need this verification step in everything you do. So we do the verification on behalf of ADNOC as well. This center has created paradigm shift in thinking within ADNOC. It really excited people to talk about digital. It excited people to talk about data. It made people more active. So now I have digital ambassadors everywhere. People are coming up with new ideas. In the downstream, for example, last month a new project was done where we connected 3 control rooms on a real-time optimization platform where the plant operates based on certain rules that we put in real time. This is usually, it's within one plant, but now we connected 4 plants, geographically very far from each other. Internally developed the technology, working with Honeywell to do this. So we have people that we work with. We work our traditional partners, but at the same time, we work with multiple people. One important thing is our inventory. We monitor all of our inventories in every single facility, plus our storage facility, plus what storage we have in India and China and Japan. So this way, the traders and the marketers know exactly how much we have, how much is coming, and we know the production, and we give them daily reports, weekly reports on how this can be useful for them. Currently, as a digital function in ADNOC, our role is really to build capability, to be the ambassador for digital, and to utilize data. For us, data is our biggest asset currently, and the people that run it, and integrating both upstream data and downstream data in one platform is the key to success, we see it. And we have seen that data currently in multiple organizations are in different silos. And we believe that for the future of oil and gas, we really need to change our philosophy from data on need to know basis to data on need to share basis. Because currently, we are very reluctant to share data with each other. And we can have methodologies to really put the data so it's anonymized, so nobody knows what it means, but at least we get the numbers and we get the patterns so we can do data science together, all oil and gas companies. I think that will speed up exploration, it will speed up the complexity currently we are going through, because easy oil is finished, only difficult oil is left, and EOR, enhanced oil recovery, is very important. How do we change that? We need to start sharing our data and becoming more like other companies where we share things together rather than working in isolation. So this is in general what we are doing in ADNOC. This platform has created an amazing opportunities for ADNOC. We are a very small team. We decided not to do it internally, very small team. So we work through the business. So we do what-if scenarios continuously, optimization scenarios for ADNOC on a weekly basis. That will allow us to enhance value for our shareholder, ADNOC. Any questions?
In this presentation, if you replace oil with tea, that is middle. You have the same thing for the tea industry. Now keyboard.
Yeah, keyboard.
This should be the keyboard. You know exactly from which garden, what is coming, what is going, what grades, how you are making grades, quality. You can do this for the keyboard. That will revolutionize the keyboard. The company will India and India. Let's just replace the word oil with tea. That's what we should. Any questions?
We manage the dashboard, considering the complete set of digital enterprises within a company. The dashboard should be managing the dashboard.
Okay, let's start from the grassroots level. At the grassroots level, you must define the data stewards, the spectrum of data stewards. Who owns the data? That is the key gardens. Where the data is being generated, how much did that woman pick today? That is from the story starts. That is where the data has to be captured. This lady picked so much of what the leaves today. That is the story starts. Then it comes to the cleaning. It comes for sorting. I've seen the tea industry in East Pakistan and now Pakistan also. I saw the process. So then it comes for sorting and cleaning. There you know that how much was wasted. Then you can analyze that how much wrong picking was done. So that next time, so that you can improve on the picking process. Then you can see the cleaning, the washing, and then the baking. The whole process you can monitor. I'm sure you have the PLCs and all these machines. But what is happening to the data in the PLCs? An average PLC creates about 50 to 60 different types of data. But they have, I can guarantee, if you take me to the tea garden, I can tell you what wrong is the user getting wrong. They're not getting that data. They may be having their ERP system, but the ERP system is not linked with their machines. Those are the things which are very, very simple to improve. No cost at all. There's hardly no cost. And you improve the things using and that's the first thing that I said, governance. You must make the best use of the resources that you already have. You've got a lot of automation in your key processing plants. It's not integrated. That's the first thing that you should do, just integrate it, and you get a lot of data which will surprise you. Then the data comes up to the blending. Then you can monitor what kind of blends are being made, what kind of blends can be made when you have that data. Then we come to export or packaging. All of this has to be monitored. So who owns the data? The different people at the different places. For that, you have to have that value chain. Right? So what data is being created and where in the value chain? Those are the owners of the data. As the data comes up, the owners don't change. The use of the data changes. The owners remain the same because they define the data, they own the data. When it comes up, it goes to marketing, it goes to sales, it goes to the export department, it goes to the manufacturing and so on. Those people own the software that churn the data to create results. Right? IT is growing. If you involve IT, things will go wrong. Because IT thinks in a certain way. You have to involve the data owners. Until it comes to the top management, so the top management can see the actual data, not what their managers are telling them. So the whole system is owned by some department. Maybe you set up a compliance department, you set up a governance department, that owns the whole thing. It is run by IT. The national boards are run by IT. IT doesn't own it. IT is just the facilitator. So now set up a new department or create a new department from the existing people. So, and they own the dashboard. And the different users.
In terms of team, just to say, who should be having a look at the dashboard?
The team board from their perspective, the different guardians from their perspective, the government from their perspective, okay? The pickers from their perspective. For example, if you got incentives for the pickers, that you pick up so much, it's all transparent. She picked up so many kilograms yesterday, and she did not get an incentive. Today she picked more, she should get an incentive. It's all transparent. So everybody will be happy. So the same data will be analyzed in different ways to be available for different people to use for their purpose. So there's no one owner of the whole system.
We are trying to introduce this to organic zone, under Maharaji authority. We are trying to introduce this organic farming and to see how to do this to pay for industrial services, the farmers. So it's a two-way mechanism. We are in the process of implementing this for as you said, increasing this speed, definitely enhance the overall efficiency of this industry. That's the solution to this team. So
then we start talking to the team board.
Yeah.
Because if the team board goes to a professional organization, one of these big four, or to one of the consulting companies, it's happening millions and millions. You know why? You've got people in the universities, brilliant people, right? Like the two doctors we had yesterday. You utilize them. All you need is guidance, is a good plan. Don't go for these big consulting companies, because charge billions. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
So thank you so very much, Mr. Azhar. It was a wonderful presentation, a very thorough one. We made a lot of learning. This is a very useful framework that you shared. This is what we need to apply here in ITI and elsewhere. We look forward to doing that. In fact, we are going to have a very useful meeting here after, involving a couple of my colleagues from Comsats and your team here at ITI. With that, we reached come to the conclusion, though we had a concluding ceremony yesterday, but this brings us to the end of this very conference. I'm once again very grateful to all the contributors to this very conference, starting with UNESCO, ComSat, Lido, and ITI, of course. Thank you very much to the chairperson, ITI, the Director General, and all the very good audience we had here. I think once again, thank you.
Let me thank all of you, especially concepts, the farm, who have taken all the efforts to get this opportunity for ITI, and also to bring in all these experts who shared their very valuable experiences with us over the last 2 days and today. In fact, we have looked forward to have a mechanism through concepts to get these latest technologies to ITI and other sister organizations, concepts organizations. So I think we can, have very close interactions, groundworks, concepts to see how we can get all these into operations. So I take this opportunity to thank Honorable Minister Agriculture this time to raise the question, and also the Secretary, who is very knowledgeable on this aspect of Industry 4, and he's working beyond that as well. I'm thankful to him as well, and all the team of ITI who have done all the hard work, and including General, the marketing, all the directors, and their support teams. I think we had a very good 2.5 days of brainstorming on this aspect. So we look forward to have more of this kind of activities, even though we are facing a pandemic situation. I think we have managed well. And also I take this opportunity to thank the media personnel who are present here to report to the nation on the activities that we are doing, collaborating with ComSats and other organizations. I take this opportunity to thank Lido and other international organizations, UNESCO, for supporting this event. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you again. I wish you a pleasant stay and safe journey back home. Thank you.
Chairman and to representative and the University of Pakistan and actually we have come to the end of the technical sessions. Actually, it was really good and it was organized very well by concepts and ITI and supported by funding by UNESCO Pakistan and technical support from video. So I wish to thank all who involved in this whole process. It's not basically not a pandemic. It's end of the pandemic, it was really difficult to be postponed once. So I take this opportunity to thank all the ITI, concepts, video, UNESCO, and all the participants from our centers of excellences, concepts, and other participants, local and international, in person and online platform. So we had a wonderful technical sessions, innovation by technical sessions, and I think after this we can sort of lay down the activities. So we have done 2 small discussions with UNESCO and representatives from Pakistan private sector. I think we can take forward all these recommendations. In our meeting today with the secretary, and he's still into this field, so I got and his expertise, and we can discuss them. Come with the plan of action, concepts, IT learning in Explore and Europe. To take this forward, not only to IT learners, to other sector of excellences as well. So I think this is basically a good platform. We have to continue this nature of things, international nature of things, and we need concept support us. So thank you very much. And we have a small token of appreciation to you all.
Thank you so very much. Let me say that I need to go back and give to my colleagues here who have been very helpful, and they are actually the lead person and just the face. Thank you so very much. Farhan has just joined. Homa and Fayaz. Nisar is missing, I guess. So thank you very much. We should have one very good photo and one round of applause for ourselves. So can we have a good photo here? Okay. And this time in the center. So all of us join without missing anybody. Have to get the group. I think the women come ahead
In the mask.
Yes.
just hold on. We don't want to mention these terms. Come with Dr. Juan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. There is for the list of participants. All of them are the registered on